Hello and welcome to another Spirit Island video. So last time I lost my third attempt at HME 6 with Volcano and Wildfire. I decided that Wildfire and Volcano, while I can probably learn to be a lot better with this combination, I clearly just don't really know what I'm doing that well yet, and I would like to try to beat HME at some point. So I decided to just slightly shake up my combo with still Volcano, but then just another spirit I feel more confident with, which is Violent Springer. So I've once again randomly selected my boards, and let's begin. All right, so this is board G is a great board for Volcano into this matchup because there's a rich supply of invaders to explode into right there. Now this Wetlands Explorer is a little unfortunate because it's 2 range away from all of my powers, but if I just create a triple stack, then that kind of becomes moot. So if I add 2 presents right off the bat and make it so that I'm able to play Rain of Ash, so I need to add from top track here, and then let's just add another one from top actually, and that way I can get closer to my Powered by the Furnace of the Earth right away. And then I'll play Rain of Ash. That lets me push an Explorer in town out of my land 4 in the slow phase, and then that becomes solved, and then I can just push them into another dump land or something that I can later explode into, or push them into a land that if they explore into the jungles, then I can push them there instead. Now for Bringer, because of the situation, the configuration here, they're going to be blighting there and then just tapping a Ravage skip there. Fortunately, they're not building at all, but I would prefer to avoid blight, potentially. Now, I don't have any Dahan in any lands that are going to be relevant, but if I do a Bat Scout, then I can at least stop their blight on the next turn with Dread Apparitions here. Now, for this turn, I could do a Call on Midnight's Dreams, get 2 energy, get a major power, forget Call, and then have some potentially good stuff going into my next turn. So if I do Call of Midnight's Dreams and Bat Scout, that allows me to first use these Dahan for energy, then push these over here, and let them Ravage in there, clearing it. I think that sounds pretty good, and I think I'd like to also start by just spreading a little bit. So let's add a presence. Let's gain a power and add a presence. All right, so Browse the Trees and Stones doesn't have any of my elements, but it does do 2 damage, so I can potentially play it with my 4 card plays. Twilight Fog has 2 of my 3 elements, and adds a Strife, pushes Dahan. I think that's really good for what I'm trying to do here, because I don't have much defense, and the Strife would help out with that. Set them on an ever-twisting trail, lets me move around explorers and isolate, and then Root Biters just lets me push towns. My fear already pushes towns or my damage already pushes towns at least, so I don't really need to worry about that. So let's grab Twilight Fog, and we'll add a presence. And I think we should put it right here in land 5. Or actually, no, they're ravaging there this turn, so we don't want to do that. So let's put it in my G3, and then I can kind of swing around and put them into my own lands again. And then we'll do our Call on Midnight's Dreams, Bat Scout, and see what we get out of that major as well. And we'll... Oh wait, for this I need to target a land with invaders. So let's actually do our growth into a land with invaders and do it right over here. Okay, call bats. And I'm gonna deliberately underplay here so I can play 4 next turn. Okay, so first we're gonna do our night terrors. We'll do our call. Paralyzing fright is amazing for just lots of skips, and then I can get closer. If I draft a single mountain next turn, then I can also threshold that. Blocking red talons. Let's see. Add a beast. Move up to 2 beasts within 3. To the target land. For each beast present, we choose a different invader and do a damage. So the only ones I can afford to play this turn are these 3. I wouldn't be able to afford talons. Nor do I really want it. It's very expensive. Though it does do that damage that I'm seeking with this spirit, but so do all of these. Now I kind of like thickets here because that actually just solves this ravage and stops them from lighting. And then I can get ahead a little bit. So it stops a blight, and then next turn I can still bring my Dahan into the slow and defend with dread apparitions. I like that. So we'll grab thickets, we'll forget call, play my thickets, and then we'll do 2 damage there. Push 2 explorers out. And let's push them. Over here. And then as for Volcano, let's not erupt right now. Okay, and then I will let them do their build and upgrade here. And they can do 1 over here. Or actually, no, too late. Yeah, I can't undo that. I just realized that I made the Rain of Ash useless. So let's still push this Dahan out, and let's push it to the sands, and then we'll push the 2 towns over here. Then I'll see if I can still do anything about that land. Bat Scout, I will gather my 2 Dahan, and let's gather out of here since let's gather out of my land and add a presence there next turn. Okay. Now so I can either reclaim 1, add a presence, which does let me just play my thickets again, but that seems to have diminishing returns. So let's gain a power card again, just gain a minor. Reaching Grasp seems amazing actually with Volcano. Elemental Boon also seems pretty good. But okay, so I have Yeah, so these are both damage. These both have damage instructions on them, so I can use those alongside Reaching Grasp. I can also use Rain of Blood, and that would be a really good fear farm over here. Reaching Grasp lets me target further outward with things like Pyroclastic Bombardment and even like Powered by the Furnace of the Earth lets me, that just lets me add presence here. I think Reaching Grasp seems like a really good little flex into some stronger stuff. And we'll grow off of our top track again, so we can play all of our cards, just like so. Perfect. And then Volcano. I can grow off of my go double grow off of my bottom track to get just one card play and just grab like Lava Flows or something. However, I think let's see. I think this seems more beneficial for right now. So let's add a presence. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could add one over here, or I could add one over here. I do think I want that extra range right now. And let's grab extra energy so I can more quickly get into a major power. Let's see, what was this again? Rain of Ash. Let's just grab a minor. Maybe something to forget later. Entrap lets me deal with Blight. The Blight Cascades don't exist on this adversary, so that's slightly less appealing. Like Calls to Like lets me get things together for bigger explosions. Blood Draws Predators doesn't do much. And Visions doesn't do much, though I will pretty much always have that thresholded. It doesn't stop any builds in Sands, though, because of the double Explore. I kind of like the Entrap here just for the sake of having some light movement, or Light Calls to Light for the sake of setting up for big eruptions. But this turn, I think I'm going to do a Lava Flows into my land 5, and then next turn I can do a Bombardment into there to kind of clear it out. And then I'll do a Light Calls to Light to further set up that Sands for a big explosion. All right. So Reaching Grasp lets me just have more range overall. And then we'll do our Dread Apparitions here. And our Night Terrors. And let's not erupt. All right. Okay, I don't want to lower my defense, so let's just leave with the Dahan. Reach land with beasts and cities, destroy beast. Luckily, we don't have any of those this time. Last time that ended up destroying 2 beasts. On each board with 4 or more towns or cities and 4 or fewer Dahan. 2, 3, 4, 5. Ba, ba, ba. Awesome. Nothing happens. Fear. Great. Build skip. Let's put this. Let's just kill an explorer with that. Okay, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then invaders build in the sands. So let's see, what was that fear card? Skip the lowest numbered land. So it skips the build there. Or not. It was supposed to skip that. Okay, well, we destroy a presence and remove a Dahan, I suppose. Or remove a town, I suppose. So let's destroy here and remove that town. And we'll destroy this one just to kill a town and remove a town. And then we can upgrade that. And then we'll also build and upgrade there again. Because my lava flows into pyroclastic bombardment and an explosion can fix that. And then we'll build and upgrade. Let's do that here. We have jungles. Okay, so let's do predatory nightmares. And let's just push this out of here. Oops, go away, stop it. There we go. And then we can do our Twilight Fog there, adding a strife at least. Lava flows. And light calls to like. And that'll gather one explorer out, one blight. There we go. Now I think it's fine to forget light calls to like for a major now. So let's gain a major. In Dom, Earthquakes, love to see them. I can play Earthquakes this turn thresholded, so let's take that. Get rid of light calls to like, add a presence, go up to 4 energy. And then, or actually, I guess I can't threshold Earthquakes this turn. But Pyroclastic Bombardment and Earthquakes still seems like a good option for me to just start clearing stuff like crazy. So 6 damage to towns and cities, 6 damage among adjacent lands to towns and cities only. I think that's great. Yeah. And then Bringer, we will reclaim, gain a minor power. Sky Stretches is great. Swarming Wasps is okay. Gift of Constancy is fantastic. Teeming Rivers does let me start removing blight in mountains and wetlands, which I've got one right there at least. Though I need to create a sacred site first to reach that. I already have an extra range power, but a slow to fast is nice, especially I can get a slow to fast on Earthquakes later on. I think honestly Sky Stretches is looking really nice right now. Oh, Constancy actually also. Let's do Constancy, and we don't need the extra range. Where are they ravaging? Sands. So I can Dread apparitions here just to stop a single blight from happening. I can also Thickets Erupt to have the same effect. Let's do Thickets just to create a bunch of wilds. And then we can do our Twilight Fog. And we don't need the Reaching Grasp, so let's not use that. Okay, so now we're going to do a Bombardment. And hit for one there. And we'll hit for one there. And then our Thickets Erupt. Clears these Explorers out. Make some wilds. And then I can also get a Thickets Erupt there later. Like, I can even use my Reclaim 1 to do that. And then Constancy. Or I can actually just use Constancy to keep my Thickets and get that extra energy. So let's Constancy this one. And I think I'm gonna avoid erupting again this turn. Yeah. Finish. Oh wait, oops, I forgot to use my Night Terrors. Let's do that. There we go. So after the Ravage step, add a Blight in the land with cities and no Blight, or destroy 2 presents. During Ravage, Dahan only do 1 damage each. Okay. That does actually solve this land. Remove an Explorer from an inland land. Let's soften up this land here. And then we will upgrade this one, because the Earthquakes will do exactly 6 damage. Okay, and we'll add a Blight here. And we'll add a Blight there, yeah. Build and upgrade. Let's do it here. And we'll do our build and upgrade here, so I can have another Earthquakes target. Ooh, okay. We still need to explore, so we'll do an explore here and here. Oh wait, no, I don't want to pop that wilds. So we'll explore here and here, just to prevent some explorers later. And then we'll explore here and here. And then we'll do our Twilight Fog. Let's just add another stripe there. Let's do our Earthquakes over here. And then we'll do 1, 2, 3. Four, 5, 6, maybe. And then we'll do our Powered by the Furnace. There we go. And then let's hold on to our Earthquakes. And then we'll hold on to our Thickets. And then for Bringer, let's continue growing off top track and go into a land with Dahan or Invaders. And let's go, let's see. Can I defend this with Dread Apparitions? So I go 1. I don't think I have the energy to do so, unfortunately. But I can stop this ravage altogether. So let's grow into here. No, let's grow here so I have range to everything. And we'll go thickets, nightmares, reaching grasp. There we go. Or actually, wait, I can defend there, I think. So I do 1 and then I do, so a total of 3. No, that still doesn't do it. It would be nice though. I actually think I might prioritize that. So let's do, yeah, because I can thickets there to clear 3 explorers out first. Okay. And then for Volcano, I think I can just, if I add 2 presents again, then I can play the earthquakes, play the, not the exaltation though, but then I can really start accelerating my position a bit. So let's go 2 presents off of bottom track so I can get my furnace. And then we'll do rumbling again. Oh, that doesn't get, oh wait, whoops, I meant to go both off of bottom track. I don't know why I didn't. Okay, there we go. Rumbling. There we go. Now I get my power by the furnace of the earth, and I can even solve this land here. Maybe. So we'll do our dread apparitions. We'll do our night terrors. Oh wait, I need to use my reaching grasp, and then we'll do our night terrors. Why is that only defended for? Oh, I don't have the beast. Okay, well, thickets does still solve. Oh wait, thickets is only in land. Okay, so let's actually go back. And instead of dread apparitions, let's predatory nightmares. Okay. And we'll do our thickets here. Push these out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we don't want them there, so let's push them here. And we'll remove a blight. And then we'll do our reaching grasp on ourselves as well, just in case. We'll get our fear. And then we can erupt. And if I erupt for 5, then that does stop this land from ravaging and from blighting. But that's also a lot of presence being lost, and I actually won't be able to use my earthquakes anymore. So let's go for 4. And we'll deal damage here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh, perfect. The beast solves it. Okay, we ignore wilds. In each land with beast, 1 damage per beast. There we go. That resolves that problem. And then we added Dahan to a land with Dahan and no badlands, beasts, disease, or wild. So let's do that over here. Let's see, what's doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 BoDaN will counterattack. And then let's add 1 here. Or actually, no. Add 1 here and here. Gather up to 3 explorers or towns from single land with 2 or more invaders. Okay. Let's stop this land from doing things. There we go. Yeah. So let's stop that land from blighting. So we'll gather a town and 2 explorers. They're no longer blighting. And then we will also gather okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's grab that one. All right, remove 2 explorers or towns from a land with BoDaN. Let's clean up here a little bit. Stop or prevent a loss condition from potentially happening. And we can also clean up. Yeah, let's just get rid of 1 more town. Add a strife to a town, and invaders have -1 strife, or -1 health per strife. Okay, let's add a strife there. And there. Or actually, let's go back. Let's add both strife there as a potential target for predatory nightmares or something. Perfect. Alright, build in the jungle. Let's do our build and upgrade here. And then over here, let's do our build and upgrade there. And we've got salt deposits. And unfortunately, they do ignore wilds. Okay. So let's do 1, 2. And then these 2 will actually die in the ravage in the jungles, and then they also won't build there anymore. And let's put this here. Let's do our rumbling earthquakes. And let's hit this one. And actually no. Let's alright, rumbling earthquakes. Still there. And then we can actually just hit 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Oh wait, 5, 6. Right, okay. Powered by the furnace. Actually, let's do our... Yeah, let's undo. Let's do our powered by the furnace of the earth over here. Okay. Now for Volcano. I can get up to 2 card plays and out of presence and just kind of take a bit of an off turn here. Because I can get to 2 card plays, 5 energy, just play Exaltation. And then that also gets me just more free energy for both of us. So let's set up for a nice eruption out of here, I think. And we'll do our Exaltation. And then, yeah, we'll bring back another Destroyed Presence and everything. And then we can, for Bringer, so they're ravaging there and there. I think I should gain a power card. So let's grab one minor power again. Spur is really nice, but kind of useless right now. Currents, Undergrowth, that's some defense at least, and Ferocity. Let's do our I think Ferocity helps. It's 0 cost, lets me gather that scout. Yep, okay. I can generate some fear and defense. Let's do Ferocity and add a presence to a mountain so I can start using, so I can make use of that Exaltation. And then, well, Exaltation, we can let's see, if I erupt for 2 in my G1, I can stop that build. Let's do that. I think that might be nice. I can stop a build and then also stop that ravage. And then and a build actually. So it stops a build and a ravage. It stops 2 builds and a ravage. Okay, and then we'll do our damage here. There we go. And then our Dread Apparitions. You know, actually, I'm gonna go back so I can have let's add this presence to my 6 for that extra range. And then play everything. Okay, finish playing. Exaltation. Eruption for 2. Hit those 2. We will do our Dread Apparitions, Night Terrors, and then that's defended. Okay. Okay, so if I curse the tongues, then this land does end up blighting still. But then it'll at least have an off turn for the salt deposits. Well, actually, no, I'd stop that ravage. That just completely skips it. Huh. I actually am a fan of that. Let's ignore contact. And... oh, wait, no, not ignore contact. I meant curse the tongues, my bad. Let's forget our reaching grasp. And then let's skip. And let's have Volcano pay the remaining 3 energy. And then we'll add a disease here and add a disease here. Each beast destroys an explorer. It's doing there and nothing else. Very nice. Okay, so ravages all over are completely solved still, and we have a jungle ravage, so let's just hit that. Let that clear. Perfect. Then let's build and upgrade here, since they're not going to be ravaging. And we'll do it here. All right, we got mountains explore. Perfect. That's great for Volcano. And then let's add an explorer. We're not going to hit jungles for a little while here, so let's add an explorer there and there. And then that one here. And let's just pop one of these wilds. Okay, and powered by the furnace of the earth, let's put that here. And then our bat scout. So first I can gather up to 3 Dahan, and then bat scout can actually clear this land. So let's gather. 1, 2, 3. Bat scout. Just some fear. Okay, now we're both reclaiming. Reclaim, we'll gain a power card. And let's grab blight removal because I just need that right now a lot. Especially since I have a ton of that sands. However, I can also grab some defense, but I think blight removal is actually more imperative to me right now. Okay. And let's do another rumbling earthquakes. And let's see, so the ravaging these two, blighting both of them. So I have a loss imminent from blight if I don't do something about it. So I actually think I need to grab that defense. Because I can defend there and at least stop one blight. Yeah, I think I need the defense right now, urgently. Let's reclaim and gain a... Let's grab another major. See if I find anything effective. I do have the ability to play Unleash Thresholded, which, that solves ravaging lands for sure. If I unleash thickets and then just any two of my any of my zeros. Right, okay, unleash thickets, that puts me at 5 energy. which actually does not give me what I need. Blood Rack Plague lets me play, It does let me defend. It stops this blight. I think Unleash is a little better for me right now, so we'll do that. We'll forget. Let's forget Call to Ferocity, and then we'll do our Unleash. Nightmares. Oh wait, I needed the fire actually, so let's undo, grab Unleash, and I need to forget something that doesn't have fire on it. So let's grab Twilight Fog, and we'll play Unleash, Call to Ferocity, Predatory Nightmares, and Red Apparitions. And then for Volcano, I need to do some... I really need to do something about these Ravaging Lands. So this one is skipped. But this one is not. So let's grab our Defend so I can stop this one. And let's do our Earthquakes. And then we'll finish. I'm gonna Erupt for... Let's see, if I Erupt 2, that does... That does do enough damage to wipe this and stop a build. Because I can go 1, 2, 3, do the remaining damage there. And then so we'll do our Dread Apparitions here. Night Terrors there as well. We'll do our Defense. We'll do our Unleash. And both gain and pay, and we'll forget now I can afford to forget something over here. So let's forget Thickets and then pay. So it has to be one of my lands. Yep. So let's do that damage here, and that takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to hit everybody with it. Yeah, let's do that. And then we can push one here, and let's do one there. Okay. We get a proliferation if I can pay for it. So let's definitely ease the drought. I'm gonna have Volcano just pay 3 energy, and then I'll have you forget that. And then pay 1 more energy. And now we can proliferate just a little bit. So I'm gonna add my presence there, and we will add this one here. Gain that any element, and right now let's just hit the not now button. Each beast deals 2 damage. Hit that, and then we will let's just I wish I could prevent that from being a mining land, but maybe the fear cards will do it. String Ravage, defend. Okay, perfect. Each land with 2 or more. Okay, nice. So let's just hit that. Destroy 1 invader per 2. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's hitting that. And then let's destroy you and you. Gather 2 into coastals and defend 4. Okay. Let's put a town and a town in there. And then we will put let's put a town and an explorer in there. Remove. We're getting really close to that Terra level 3 win condition now. Because they are only blighting 1 land this turn, right? Yeah, only... or... Okay, let's see. They're blighting... there and there. Okay. And they're popping a disease. And then they're gonna be adding just 2 towns. Let's remove that and remove that. Just stop the build entirely. Add a strife. In a land not matching a ravage card, so add a strife and a salt deposit. And let's put them here. Oh, it's 2 strife. Nice. So add it there, and then let's go there. And let's upgrade you. Awesome. Okay, we will... let's do our build and upgrade there. Because Rumbling Earthquakes handles it. And we'll do our build and upgrade. Actually, let's see. We'll do our build and upgrade here, actually. And then we'll do our build and upgrade. Let's do it here. Okay. And we're getting pretty close to closing this out, potentially. Now they are ravaging and mining lands every turn though, so we have to be very careful with that. Let's explore. Let's pop the wilds there and explore over here. And we'll just pop a wilds here and explore here. Okay. So we want to generate fear, of course. We are 12 fear away from winning right now. So let's do our... Let's start by doing our earthquakes. Okay. We are now 6 fear away from winning. So let's just do like a predatory nightmares and put it over here. We'll do a cult of ferocity, generate 1 more fear. Push this out here. And then I am 2 fear away from winning, and I have my right, and I can do my night terrors to get that. So let's just finish this out here. Presence. And presence. And let's just do 3 card plays. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll do our reclaim, gain a power. Anything works, so we'll just do constancy, sap. Great. Okay. Constancy. Bombardment. Anything works for the element, so let's just keep that going. And then sap. Let's just defend there, sure. Exaltation. Get the extra energy here. Eruption for 4. And we win. Okay, that was really tight on the blight. I could have taken some blight removal, but if I did, then I would have lost even sooner because I wouldn't have been able to defend on lands that were blighting faster. But luckily, Bringer does what Bringer does best and generates a ton of fear and wins the game with that. And then on Volcano, that early rumbling earthquakes was able to really help with my built up lands over here, eventually just completely clearing out Volcano's board to a point where I didn't really need to rely on eruptions anymore to deal damage. Bringer had all sorts of crazy stuff going on that like multiple forgotten powers and forgotten major powers and stuff like that. Oh man, okay, well that was a good one, and seems like just slightly changing it up a bit really helped me out, because clearly I need some work on my wildfire gameplay. So I'm happy to have gotten that worked out in here at least. So with that in mind, thanks for watching, and have a good day.